What's up, Breaking Bread family? Welcome to another amazing episode. Happy New Year to all of you. It's the first episode of the year. We're so excited. We love what we were able to build last year when we actually started up the podcast in April. So we thank you all for your love, for your like tuning in to us. We love the community that we're being able to build here in the podcast. Today we're actually starting up a little series just in the beginning of the year. It's gonna be our testimony series. Okay, it's the first series that we're gonna be running for the podcast, and the very first guest for the testimony series is
Let's
my
go.
friend, a leader here at Pneuma Church, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
Welcome,
sir.
brother.
Thanks,
Welcome,
bro.
brother.
Thanks, man.
Welcome.
Hey, first podcast of the year?
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's go.
Yeah.
Appreciate
First
it, bro.
podcast of the
Appreciate it.
year. How you feeling,
Super
man?
honored to be here. 1,000%. I love what you're doing with this podcast and bringing to light testimonies, stories, like putting Christ in a platform where it's more digestible to the youth.
Yeah.
Like podcasts.
Yeah.
I feel like so many youth are already used to, getting into a car, putting a podcast, getting into a car, or listening to a preaching.
Yeah.
And putting it in this format is such a beautiful thing, such an amazing thing. And I'm grateful for social media in a way that, Christ can be glorified and put to the masses. So, bro, totally love what you're doing here. Super proud of you, too. I've seen it.
Thank you.
I was able to get a sneak peek before it even came on. And I know you put a lot of hard work into this.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So, man, just want to honor you for what you do here with Breaking Bad Podcast.
Amen,
And I know
brother.
it's gonna keep going. It's gonna explode.
Thank you, bro.
You know,
Thank you.
for God's glory.
Amen.
And nothing else.
Yeah. I think now we've seen like I don't want to call it a trend, but more like a shift in social media where it's just a lot of people are coming out, starting to talk about Jesus, starting to talk about the gospel.
Yeah.
And I think it's something beautiful that there's a revival even going on in the internet.
I love it. Yeah.
And it's gonna be shifting to cities and different things. And I think it's something I'm very excited for this new year. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different feeling that's happening. But before we do go ahead and start off, well, this episode is basically gonna be about that. But I want you to share a little bit who Pierre is, who Pierre was,
Yeah.
how Pierre came to know Christ.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
My DNA was truly, truly transformed and changed by Christ. And I'm not the person I am today. Still a human, makes mistakes, but definitely completely different from before I knew Christ.
So who was Pierre?
Who was Pierre before?
was Pierre?
So it's a long story, and it started from when I was very young. So just a little context. I did grow up in church, and growing up, my parents did take me to church. They did every Sunday was like, hey, we're going to church, but it was more customary.
Is this in the U.S.?
U.S.
Okay.
Always here in Miami.
Okay,
Always
okay,
here in Miami.
okay.
I grew up in Hialeah.
Okay.
Lived in Hialeah Gardens for a little bit, and then towards like the ends of high school years, I went up to West Pines, Pembroke Pines.
Okay.
So, pero nada, like growing up, it was going to school, every Sunday. It became like, it was like a habit. It was more like, this is what we do on Sundays, which is go to church. From a kid, I didn't really have a choice. And then I started growing up and like, I was able to contextualize the world. I started to feel emotions, normal things as you grow up. And, it's a mixture of a lot of things, honestly. Like my parents would preach a lot of, read your Bible, pray, this and that. But I lived a tough season with my sister as well, where within the four walls of our home, what we saw was not the same as what was being preached.
Okay.
So that was one of the first things that, and not even like consciously, it was just naturally, I didn't want to know anything about God because I associated what they were saying to what we were living through in our home, which was a lot of instability. And just to give you a little context, my parents, and not to speak bad about my parents, I love you guys.
Yeah.
And they know it. We have these conversations.
Yeah.
They got married a month after they met, right?
Okay.
So it was really quick.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of trauma on both sides that wasn't been able, like they had no chance to discover it or work on it, and traumas that weren't healed that unfortunately came in the institution of marriage, and they had us right after as well. So they got married, and then my mom was pregnant with me, and then a year after, my mom was pregnant with my sister. So they had their traumas and their things that they never really healed or brought to the feet of Christ that exploded while in our childhood.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of calamity. There is a lot of emotional instability, and that affected us in a very, very bad way. Now I'm able to reflect on it. Before I was top dog, nobody can mess with me, whatever, and that's what pushed me to do exactly the opposite of what my parents would tell me.
Mm.
So I remember even from the earliest act of how would you say
Yeah, like
act
you were
of rebellious
Yeah.
was, "Oi, you shouldn't be cursing." And then, okay, perfect. The first thing that they pull up to
Curse.
school was literally go down the vocabulary of curse words and say it and find opportunities to say it. And that's how it started, right? But up to that point, it was innocent, right? Bueno, compared to the
Yeah.
road that I went down
Mhm.
with. And elementary happens. I go into middle school. Then you're involved. Now you get exposed to older kids, and I look older than my age, so I've always gotten along with people that are older, and that's exposed me to things that maybe I shouldn't have been exposed to at an early age.
Mhm.
Middle school was basically the shift from like innocence to going down a very dark path, and I remember being offered weed in 7th grade, and I tried it, and at the time I enjoyed it,
Mhm.
and from then on it became a habit, and I was smoking a lot constantly at school, after school. um what and at that time what was popping off was like the house parties.
Okay.
This was like, imagine 2015, 2014. So every other weekend there was a house party. My parents, right, they didn't let me go out. For them, like, going out was the worst thing in the world. So I literally had to escape my house, literally like
Sneak
open up the
out.
window
Yeah.
and climb out the window in order to go to these events. And in reality, like, what I was doing in that time was trying to satisfy a part of my heart, to feel accepted, to not be like a cast out or put to the side, which I fear so much. Now I'm able to identify it, but I had that fear of like people looking at me as like, wait, that guy's weird, or he's not part of the crew or whatever, and that. And then I did everything and anything to be accepted or to be part of something, or to get some type of acceptance, which I felt I was lacking. And bro, I go on tangents and rants, so feel free to interrupt me.
Yeah.
And then so that was 7th and 8th grade, and it was just like constant partying, constant sneaking out. Then I started drinking in 8th grade, and like heavily drinking a lot. It got to a point where I would drink by myself. The liquor cabinet, we had a liquor cabinet back then in my house. Little by little was going down, right? Because whenever I got a chance, I would just grab a bottle and sneak it into
And
like a water bottle.
would your parents notice?
Yeah, they would notice.
Okay, but they knew it was you, or
I mean, eventually they
found out?
They did, but
Okay.
in my head, I never did anything.
didn't, yeah.
So I remember my mom would be like, "Hey, esto estaba like sorry, I'm switching to Spanish. This was fuller. This was
Yeah.
fuller than it was like last week." And I'm like, "Well, no, I don't know." And then they found out one time that it was literally in the morning before going to school. I was going down the hall, bro, and I drank so much that I
In the morning?
in the morning, bro.
What?
In the morning, and I puked in my room and everything, bro. It was bad. And bro, I was just in search of like escaping my reality, and I don't know why I didn't like my reality in that time, but I wanted to escape. And then so that's
sorry, before you continue. So I kind of wanted to highlight, like, So you really did off this. You really did all of this based on the rebellion that you felt from your parents.
When at this point it was like I wanted to do these things.
So it
It
was like more
started
of a
off from the
choice.
rebellious,
Okay.
and then from a constant rebelling,
Yeah.
then it became a habit, and
Okay.
then it was no longer a conscious decision to go against what my parents were saying. It was a conscious decision
Do
to
it
do
because
what
you
I
wanted
was
to.
doing.
Okay.
Exactly. To do because I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And that was like 7th and 8th grade where it was like very heavy. And imagine like in a high Aliyah, like you get to expose
Explode
like
a lot of things.
to a
yeah.
lot of things, and it was like these big massive public schools, and I feel bad for parents now because that was in my day. Imagine now.
And Francesca was already born by then.
Francesca
Right?
was already
She was
born.
already grown up. Okay.
In a way, it kind of like it protected her my craziness
Yeah.
because people were, and man, I say this with like so much humbleness. You can ask my sister, bro, nobody would touch her because they said, "Oh, that's Pierre's sister,"
Mhm.
and bro, we were in a school where all the guys, all what they were looking for was, okay, who can I
Girls and
be
yeah.
with next, and not in the best context. And I used to, bueno, uh, even now, sometimes I want to get in the ring and throw some shots, but I used to love to fight, bro.
Okay.
Like, loved fighting. It was like I was excited. And I don't know, my personality goes well with chaos. I feel peace at chaos.
Mhm.
And because of that, my people were a little bit like in terms of men were a little standoffish for my sister.
Okay.
But that was back then, man. And man, it's just I can go down a rabbit hole on all the things that
Mhm.
that I did and search for something. And it continues. That's like early age. That's middle school, and then I went into high school, and in high school it just got elevated. I got involved with like the wrong mix of people and that like to do like certain criminal activities,
Okay.
and I got wrapped up in that as well, and I started to steal things, and whenever I got a chance to rob something, I did it, man. And it was, now I think of it now, and it's just crazy like what God can do in a person. And I used to be shameful about it, and I used to like when I first came to Christ, and so many moments of like crying and by myself and feeling guilty, and like all because at the time I didn't feel any guilt,
Of
like
course.
I just did it.
Yeah.
And now it's hard to talk about because many people that are around me and know me now, they can't really picture it.
Visualize that. Yeah.
So it's hard to say, but I got wrapped up in that world, and um I started from anything, bro, from like chips at Walmart. I will put that in a bag and sell it at school. um the crew of people that I got mixed up at school, they would show me how to like do certain things in terms of like, it got very, very bad, bro, and very, very quick. Like in high school, I was just exposed to a world that I shouldn't have been exposed
Mhm.
to. I started instead of just smoking weed, I started selling it too in my school.
Okay.
Cards, everything, man. Like I was involved in everything, man. And like it's just crazy how God works. Um I did That's 2 years of high school. My sophomore year, I got ex,
Expelled.
expelled,
Suspended.
like expelled from my school.
Okay.
So I
like
couldn't
kicked
go
out
there.
completely.
And it was related to not even drugs or anything like that. It was something that happened with a female.
Okay.
That see, I kind of don't
Yeah.
want to expose. I
Mhm.
mean, we could talk about it off air, but I had to leave the school, and I went to a school. I remember in Broward. It's called Somerset, and
Bro, we played them in Pines.
in Pines.
We
in
played.
Pines.
Well, I played football in high school. We played them
In
in
Pines.
one of the games.
So I absolutely hated it. Like, bro,
Yeah.
it was bad. But God knew what He was doing, man. Because when I got expelled, my parents really went like, I thought they were OD before,
Then you
or
went
OD like translated to
like ballistic, like
like super strict,
yeah.
like super. Uh, after I got, taken out of school, it was even worse. And they like erased my phone number, erased all my social media, like completely. I went ghost, and I had no form of communicating with my people from from over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going there, and bro, my testimony is very long. I could keep going for a while. So, but I'll stay there. So when I went there, bro, I hated it. I went from a school from, like, imagine, bro, it's 4,000 kids, a massive school,
Okay.
and infused with Hispanic culture,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I love going there. I was part of the football team as well there, and we were super cool with, like, the janitors. So we will skip class whenever we want because we'll do community hours and help the janitors
Janitors.
clean or whatever, and clean that. We were back there. They'll make us coffee and play dominoes, el cafecito cubano, like things like that.
Yeah.
And then I went to Broward, where it was very Americanized and it's completely different culture. And bro, with as tough as I thought I was, bro, it really was a culture shock, and I really really went through a tough time going to that school. And it was like a small school, but man, I kept doing the same things. I got involved with the worst little rotten apples of that school and kept doing the same thing that I was doing over there, and just with a set of people. At this point, my parents are smelling like me come home with strong
Weed.
smells of weed, red eyes all the time, and they're always asking me, always pressuring me. But I'm a good, like, talker, and I was always, in my mind, I was always able to convince them. But they knew that I was not doing drugs, or no, it's just I'm tired. I wear contacts, so I would use that a lot as an excuse. No, I just put my contacts on, so my eyes got red. Um, and now I kept going. Then junior year, then high school. I mean, not high school. Sorry, freshman year. I didn't go to school.
Of
Uh,
college.
huh?
You're talking about freshman year of college?
No. I mean, sorry,
Senior
senior year.
year? Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting them confused. Senior year of high school. Since I hated that school so much, and bro, I'm doing like the
The chronological, yeah.
por encima, like
Yeah.
over the surface level, because and each stage, bro, there's so many stories, so many times where now I look back and I'm like, for sure, God was with me in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. He was protecting me, man. He was protecting me in situations where, man, I shouldn't be here. I really shouldn't be here at all. And so that was my senior year. I was like, you know what? I'm fed up with the school thing. uh, I need to see how I can not go to school. So I did have good grades in the midst of all of this. I did have
Oh,
good
wow.
grades,
That's crazy.
but not for not for
Yeah.
reasons, but because I knew how to cheat.
Yeah.
A little too well. In our schools, like, we had a WhatsApp group chat with the class of we were a class of 2020, so it was like class of 2020. And then, since, like, classes are divided into A-B days, like what I was doing,
On
someone
A
had
day,
already
somebody
did
already
yesterday.
did, yeah.
So people will throw in their, like, answers to exams and homeworks and things like that. So it was just like copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically how I got through high school. And I'm not saying I'm not smart. I think I can defend myself.
Yeah.
But that's why I was getting the good grades. And in high school, no, in senior year, I was only missing 2 credits to graduate. And that's what I want to do. I was like, wait, I approached, like, the principal of the school, which I was in the office so many times that me and the principal were cool, that my parents and the principal were they got to know each other as well from so many times that I got in trouble in that school.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, look, man, I just want to do with the son of that principal. I got into a fight with that guy, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I look back and it's kind of funny, but we got into a fight because we weren't angry or anything like that. We just had boxing gloves, and we're like, hey, let's do a fight. And I gave him a black eye, and then he goes to school in the black eye. This is how I come to know the principal of the school. And the principal calls in and is like, wait, you gave my son a black eye? He's like, no, we're just. And then I show him the video. Look, it's like consensual. And then that same I'm going off on tangents. That same guy, crashed with my dad head to head, bro. One time
No
going to school,
way.
and no, that was crazy. But I was getting so much in trouble, having to go to the office here, there, whatever, that the
You
principal
basically
knew
knew
me and my
already.
parents.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was coming the end of the year to go into senior year, and I had asked him if I can just do the 2 classes and not do the rest, because in my mind was like, why would I take classes that I don't
You don't
need,
need, yeah.
and I have the risk of, get dropping down GPAs or getting bad grades? Because I'm telling you, I had really good grades, not for the best reason, but I had good grades. And he was like, no, you're gonna have to take the 8 classes. So I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? So I was looking online and I found virtual school, and in Broward is BVS, Broward Virtual School. So I approached them in the summer. Like they had like this, like, what do you call it? Homecoming, no, like orientations
Okay.
for potential students, to join. And we went, and I remember asking one of the counselors, I said, look, this is my situation. I only want to take the 2 classes that I need. Is that something that you guys can accommodate? And they said, yeah, 1,000%. I said, perfect. Say less. Sign me up. I still had to go to the school for one day, the first day of school, and then I never showed up, the Somerset, and then I never showed up because I already transferred to the other one. And there at that point, I knew I had to stop the criminal stuff, because it's just, so I had a friend, from high school, from the other school, from Miami Dade, where we used to sell the weed together, and we'll leave school, go to his house, get the stuff, and whatever, go. And he was in the same football team as me, and man, I really liked him. In terms of like friendships, like we bonded really well.
Yeah.
And towards, when I was in Somerset, we will still do things, like somehow he was able to get my number, and I will still link up. Obviously, I had to, like, bro, but I did so many like crazy things to just to go out. Like I had to inventarme una historia, like, because my parents didn't let me go out, so I had to like figure out a way to
Mm-hmm.
go out. And this is how like messed up in my mind I was. And um, I remember I went to a trip in Honduras in the summer, and I get a call from my friend, and he said, "Oi, Enrique, his name was Enrique, you know, passed away." I said, "What do you mean pass away?" Yeah, no, he was serving, and they tried to rob him, and he
Wow.
didn't want to, and because he didn't want to, the guy took out a gun and
And
shot
shot
him
him.
5 times
Wow.
in the car. And man, like, took everything that he had, cash, but it was like $800 in cash, and like it wasn't even the real, it was the weed, it was the like cards that he was selling at the
Yeah.
time. And they shot him 5 times. And I was in Honduras, and right then, I know it was God, but it was like, it was a shock
Yeah.
to me. And it was like, that easily could have been me. I could have been with him that night easily, because we had done it so many times
Yeah.
before, and it was like customary. And because I was out of town, imagine if I was there with him,
Yeah.
like, that's it. I wouldn't be here. He would have gotten the both of us,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And right then and there, I was like, oh shoot, you gotta. So, you know, God used that situation for me to kind of like open my eyes and say, all right, like, this criminal stuff, you need to, yeah, déjalo. You need to leave it. And little by little, I did that. I started dropping that, um, and to a point where it was like here and there, whenever I could
Mm-hmm.
grab something, I
Mm-hmm.
still had it, bro. Like, without
Yeah.
God, you're not gonna change.
Yeah.
You can say you're gonna drop certain habits, but without God in your mind there to show you what true love is and what being saved is, you're not gonna change, because on our strength we can't. It's
Mm-hmm.
impossible.
Mm-hmm.
We're born like that.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, stop me if you have questions
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. I can
Yeah.
go for a while. And I was in my senior year. I um I already knew that sorry, like, I didn't really want to go to college. So I was like, man, what do I gotta do? So I started calling. I At the time, my dream was, I wanted to be a pilot, you know,
Okay.
which is still now, but
Yeah.
it goes this way and then it comes back to the original. I wanted to be a pilot, so I called on aviation companies close to my house. I said, "Hey, listen, I'm graduating high school. I'm looking at you, like, this is my last year of high school. I want to be eventually a pilot, but I want to see if you have a job, entry level." I used to tell the people, like, even if it's like cleaning the bathroom, I just want to be there, you know, and learn the information. And bro, it was like no after no after no after no after no. And then I stumbled upon this lady named Jeanette, a little like American cowgirl. Bro, she was crazy. One of the craziest bosses I've ever had in my life. But she goes, "You want to work? Come here on Thursday. You're free Thursday?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll go Thursday." So I go. Bro, I go and I walk into her office and she looks at me from like head to toe. She said, "What's your availability like? Like, you have school?" I said, "Yeah, but I do it online. I could be here every day." "Okay, you're hired." I see, bro, like that. I said, "What?" Like that, man. And then, so my senior year, I was doing school online and then I started working there, like full 8-hour shift the entire week. And I started off by like moving parts around, like carrying the orders that the people were putting. And little by little, she started showing me things like in the office and things like that, and like how to file the paperwork, invoices, the office stuff. And she little by little started giving me more responsibilities there, and she started showing me like, so part of that is like to call other aviation companies to tell them, "Look, I have this part, and then do you have this part?" And kind of like buying and selling the parts and whatever, negotiating. And she would do those calls, and she would tell me, "Look, sit here so you can listen." Man, I'm telling you, like, God places the people. That woman was an angel, and her craziness.
Shout out Jeanette.
Jeanette Shirley from Shirley Enterprises was the name. Hopefully she's watching this. That'd be crazy.
We gotta send
And
it
then
to
I
Jeanette,
get a phone
bro.
call. Man, she was wild. She was a wild lady. Like, imagine a cowgirl, like, and she had no filter or anything like that, but she was good when it came to business. And bro, we'll be sending an email. She's like, "Look, put this in the email. If you don't have this part, I'm gonna go over and break your leg." I said, "What do you want me to type that up?" I'm telling you, this woman was crazy.
Wow.
But I'm gonna fast forward there because I feel like I'm going long. She showed me like sales, like how to type up an email, the invoices, like the whole operation. I kind of like learned it, and then I started liking sales, and I was turning like, I had turned 18 at that time. I said, "You know what? Let me go into real estate." So I'm gonna go fast forward. During this entire time, I'm still partying every weekend. Now imagine I have a little bit of money that I'm making. I'm partying, going out, drinking a lot. I'm a different, like completely different person. The way that I used to think back then is not even the same as right now. Like, God can turn something so black and like just disgusting and dirty and just put it so clean. And once like his light is in that vessel, man, I'm telling you, it's just there's no other best feeling in the world. Like, you just, every time I read when Jesus is talking to Nicodemus, is like, "Wait, but how can I be born again? And how can I go back into the womb of my mother?"
Yeah.
Of my mother. Said, "Well, yeah, you're gonna be born again. Once you encounter like me and you accept me as my savior, you're made new. Like, you're a new living person, because that other person was dead, literally was dead." And this is why I love "Dancing on the Grave That I Once Lived In."
Oh yeah,
Bro,
the song
that hits to the heart, dog. It's a joyful moment, right?
Yeah.
Dancing on the. But for me, bro, it, like, I sit back, I'm like, wow, that's the best way to put it.
So when did you come to the feet of Christ?
So I'm gonna fast forward. Since I discovered that I like sales there, I went into sales. I got into real estate, like pretty young, 19. I started working at a real estate office, commercial real estate, and that world is very, very same thing. Like, a lot of partying.
It's hustling your way through. It's hustling your way through.
Hustling your way through. But now it's at a different level. It's with adults,
Yeah.
50, 40-year-olds that have been partying for decades. So the amount of partying and the level that they do it is just very, very, I don't want to get descriptive, but it's degenerate, bro. It was, and I was around that, surrounded by like thieves, people trying to take things, and degeneracy all over. And it was constantly, now at this point, like there's no hiding it from my parents, bro. I was getting home very drunk. I was getting home high. I like bad, vomiting all over the place. And my parents would be, my mom would be, crying, trying to tell me to do the right thing, and I wouldn't feel anything, and I would just keep doing it and keep doing it. I didn't care. Like I had no feelings. I was so cold in my heart, and like I didn't see the destruction that I was bringing to my home. My sister would see me in the worst states that like anybody can see. The brother at that point, like I was past the alcohol, bro. I was doing anything that I can like
Get your
bro,
hands on.
everything, bro. Mushrooms, pills, LSD. I got into a point where I was doing a lot of acid. Man, I was so lost. And it came to when, like I said, like it's a long thing. One of my friends, because was able to build a friendship in Somerset. And this is fast forward. He is leaving the club. Same thing. We're pilled up, like drinking a lot, and he drives like that. And then unfortunately, he goes into a car accident, and he lost consciousness, and there's no blood going to his brain, and they found him at 6 in the morning, like, and he spent all morning like that.
Wow.
And unfortunately, when they found him, they declared him brain dead, and now like he really can't do much on his own. He's in a like vegetable state. So when that came out, everybody was just like, oh my god, this is just crazy. And God used that in that moment for me, and he talked to me. It's similar to when my friend passed away.
Yeah.
It was like, man, you gotta stop. You can't be behind the wheel, man. I'm telling you, bro. It was just like conviction. At that time, I didn't know it was God, but it was just like a like something confronted me, say like, man, you're maybe a little going too far with these weekends. But I was so go, and man, I pray for him a lot. His name is Gabo. Man, I just remember how like he was super happy. That guy was one of the, like, we'll go into a room making jokes, and like I'm telling you, the guy was life of the party.
And you still have contact with him? Like you still a little bit
with the mom.
Okay.
Every now and then, like I remember when it happened, we'll go visit a lot for his birthdays and things like that. But yeah, and then man, it's crazy. And then that was a shock to me, and it was like, man, I got to do something. And then it's like these little situations where it's like, man, you're so stupid. What are you doing? Like little things like that.
Like a little wake up call.
Little wake up calls here and there. That was a huge one. My friend passed away. The other one was a huge one también. But then it came to a point where it was, so many things. One time I went to Miami, and it was like with a group of 5 or 6 people, and I drove from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, which is like an hour and a half with traffic, almost 2 hours. And I was so drunk, so high, everything. And we got there in peace. And now like that I see what change that God has made me. I'm like, wow, man, God, is that when God has a purpose for you, you are protected for a reason. And the reason was because salvation was coming, and he was putting me through those situations. Unfortunately, some people learn by getting beat down, man.
Yeah.
Some people have to like go through it. Yeah. Like for some reason, I would see the mistakes of others, and I wouldn't learn from it. Yeah. I was so hard-headed, and even now to this day, sometimes I'm hard-headed in other areas. Right? It doesn't apply to what we're talking about. But I remember the ultimatum. of all the small little like wake up calls, and I shared it one day here when I had to preach on a Sunday. It was I went to Fort Lauderdale with a group of friends, so called friends at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and for me it was like a regular night, whatever. And it was like there's a strip where there's more than one club next to each other, so we're going club to club, and it was the last one, and I remember like I was already pretty bad. Like we had taken a bunch of things and we were drinking a lot. And I guess when we were there, like the dance thing, um, the what is it? The bouncers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they saw me that I was like pasado,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like
Like too
almost
much. Yeah.
unconscious. They kicked me out of the club and they grabbed me. Like, bro, I remember like these two big black guys pick me up. I'm like 5 feet in the air. My bro, I promise you, my feet are dangling. I'm like, oh my god, what is this? And barely conscious, they open like movie style, kick open the doors of the club and launch me like 5 6 feet in the air. And then like I fall and I can't get up. So I'm basically like I'm just in the side of the street. And I remember I was like, "Ah, you know what? Let me just rest here." And bro, I was imagine you're walking down the street and there's someone there on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
barely conscious. Dude, that was me, man. That was me, bro. It got to a point where I was in the side of the street on a public street, just tirado ahí. And it was like almost 4 in the morning, and my parents were extremely worried. And this wasn't the first time that they had to do this. Extremely worried, they went out to go look for me, and they brought my sister along. And they're going around whatever. Now they're telling me like we're going around the city, and they literally stopped right next to where I was at. They got out of the car and they saw me like that, bro. I remember opening my eyes and the three of them were there. And when I
Dang,
look at
that's crazy.
my sister was bawling, crying, bro. But
Yeah.
bawling, crying. Like I'm telling you, like a crying that I've never seen anybody cry like that before. And she looked at me with like disappointment, and it's like, man, I can't. Like her face said it all. Like
Yeah.
sometimes faces, you don't even have to say a word. Just look at the person's
Mm.
face, and it says everything. And her face at that point was disappointment and like not knowing who I was. And I love my sister to death, man. Love my sister to death. And always protected her. In my craziness and always like
Mhm.
that, like
Yeah.
I was not overprotective. She would say maybe a little bit,
Mhm.
but I was always on top of like, wait, who's
Yeah.
around her, whatever, blah
Course.
blah blah, because I love her. And then her like expressing that to me, the way that it happened, it felt so bad. And God used that moment right then and there to give, like, literally, bro, all the guilt that I should have felt in all my mistakes and all the destruction and death, bro, because it was death, bro. The spiritual world is real. And there was demons attacking me at that time. But I was bringing death and destruction to my home, bro. Like, and God convicted me that in that moment, and all the guilt, bro, all the guilt that I should have felt, and I felt like it was bunched up, right? You should have felt it, and just boom, like slapped on my chest.
Mhm.
And I just remember like they had to pick me up and throw me into the back of the car to go home. And I remember like just feeling all this guilt and reaching out because at this all in this whole entire time and season, I don't really believe in God. I don't think that He's real.
Mhm.
I would see people worship, and to me, they were crazy. They're a little wild. I'll be like, wait, these people are worshiping. Necesito salirme de aquí porque esta gente está. These people are crazy. And I remember being in the back of a car, and I was saying, God, if you are real, like, and what all I remember saying, like repeating 2 or 3 times, if everybody is saying about you is real, like show it to me. If what everybody is saying about you is real, show it to me. If what everybody is saying about you is real, show it to me. I don't want to. And I told him, whatever this is, like all that guilt that I was feeling, I don't want it anymore. And I don't want to bring like this destruction and like to my family. Do something. And I was like literally reaching out in despair. I was at the lowest point in my life, bro. Lowest point in my life. Lowest point. I felt like a scum. I felt like garbage. It was like I'm telling you, conviction over all my actions and what I was doing. And then um I made that outcry to God. And I'm not gonna tell you it was like, okay, right then and then I changed. After that, it was different. I kept going out. Listen to this. I kept going out. I kept doing the same things. But now I started to feel different. Like I remember 2 weeks after that, I went to a bar and I started feeling like anxiety in my heart. I'm like, oh, what is this? And I felt this like weird pressure to not be there. Crazy. After years of wanting to go party to bars and all this, I was there and I was feeling like this weird anxiety of like, oh, why am I here? I would always like get that feeling like, why am I here? I would, go out to drink, and I'll feel like guilty. I'll be like, man, what am I doing? And then like little by little, my eyes started to open,
Mm.
and that's why I love in the word where it says like, you I will cure the blind, and everybody's like, wait, but nobody here is blind. Yeah, you're blinded by sin.
Mhm.
And when you encounter Christ or you outcry to him, he will take that, he will start making you see the vision. Or like he'll take away the blindness of sin. And that's what was going on, bro. And now I'm able to know it was the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
that Christ deposited in me in that moment, or in that season of conviction. And little by little, bro, I remember literally what like made me decide to stop absolutely cold turkey, go anywhere, go out, was one time that I went out to a club after all of that, and I felt this just demonic presence, bro. Like horrible. I felt like I would see people, and they were like lost souls, like into a dark abyss, and like it was like God like showing me, oh yeah, this right here, you don't want to be anywhere near this. And I would look at like people dancing, whatever, and in my heart I would see like, oh my God, that person is in search of something that is not here. That person is trying to fill a void in their heart, or trying to fill uh, a like a past trauma that they're trying to cope with. And saw like, it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but demons operating, bro. Demons were operating that night, and I saw them like playing around with these people that were lost, and like lost souls. I said, oh no, there's no way I'm coming back. And I went from like going out every weekend, cold turkey, nah. God says like, your right hand is sinning, you cut it off.
Yeah,
Brother,
that.
I cut that arm off and a little bit more. The
The
people that I
leg
was,
and the eye too.
bro,
All
that
of
eye
it.
too, everything. The people that I was like hanging around with and going to these things, cold turkey. Literally, bro, people were, and now, I mean, kind of feel bad, but people were reaching out to me. Oh, hey, what's
Yeah,
up?
but the thing is
Nada,
that if
bro.
there's no drastic change, then there's not gonna be a change at all.
Exactly.
A lot of times that's how it's gotta be.
Exactly.
That's beautiful, man. I think there's so much. That's why we're the whole reason we're doing this series. I think there's so much power in testimonies and our stories. Where maybe somebody looking at the camera right now, like, man, I feel like that, and like what's going on with me, and we can share the hope. There's like a different biblical hope that us as Christ followers we believe that it's that obviously when we die, there's a way better place that we go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can share that hope. We can share that love that God brings, right? Um, so, man, I wanted to thank you first off for sharing. I think that's beautiful, and I kind of wanted. I didn't want to really make the episode like too like diving deep into it. I really just wanted to focus on the testimony per se. Because I think really a testimony can speak on itself, and a
Yeah.
testimony like yours, I think is beautiful. But just kind of to leave with the audience with something, what would you say to maybe those people that were in your shoes, beforehand, the pre-Pierre Martinez, now that's renewed? What would you say to them, and what words of encouragement can you give to those type of people that maybe feel lost and feel like they need to change?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes bro, and I would ask myself, like when I first started coming to Christ, I would ask myself that question so many times.
Yeah.
How could I have prevented to do all of that? Like how? How could I have
Yeah.
prevented to do all of that? Like, I'll be like, wait, what if I go back to my old self? in my mind, I was like, wait, you need to stop, like, because of the urgency of to show them. But that's not the way. If you're going through something similar, um, and you're feeling this emptiness in your heart, all I can say is the answer to that is Jesus, man. And I'm not telling you to, make a prayer every single day, or you need to do this to do that. It's not about religion. Christ wants your heart, and He wants a relationship with you. He wants to know who you are, and the way that you are right now, with all the mistakes that you're doing, with all the craziness that you're doing, with all the things that you're mixed up with. He looks at you how in the midst of that and says, I love you because you're my child. And what you and once you realize that and you surrender, He will transform you. He will change you. He will give you the gift of the Holy Spirit. So all I can say is give Jesus a try. Just give Him a try. Just all you need is a little inch of saying, okay, let me try this out. Or let me just so many people are talking about this, Jesus guy. Let's see what the hype is about. And man, that's it. That's all you gotta do is a little bit of will in your heart to want to know who He is, and you'll see how you change your life. And then from like trying to just tip your toe into the water, He'll completely submerge you in Him and transform you into a completely different person. And man, I'm telling you, like I went through all these things, and the testimony doesn't end there, bro. It continues and continues.
Yeah.
Because God is always working, and everybody has a separate testimony. There's no such thing as a greater testimony than a less of a testimony. God worked in someone's life, and that's it, in and of itself is a testimony. And I believe it's the best way that we can outreach to those that need it, that may be going through the same situation. And it doesn't end there, man. Now in May, I'm getting married.
Let's go.
To a beautiful woman of God that I would have never thought, bro. I would have never thought I have what I have, man.
Shout out Karen. We love you.
My relationship, my testimony, like she is part of my testimony.
Yeah.
Like something, and like just a little insight. My fiance grew up in the church, right? She has her testimony as well, but that one was a woman of God. Like, bro, wise, prayer warrior, like deep into the word.
Let's go.
And at first, like it was a little bit of a thing when I tried to conquer her, because I was nervous. Now it's the first woman of God. But she is a part of my testimony. Something that was so broken, so black, me, not skin wise, but what was in my heart was so bad and so like black.
Yeah.
Now completely changed and transformed. I'm going to a covenant with someone so precious as her, right? And bro, her relation, and to me, obviously, once I met her and I was thinking about praying, making prayers for a wife, I was like, wait, relationship with God, it has to be the center.
Yeah.
It has to be the center, because if not, I don't want it. I don't want it. Like now I'm at a point where if God is not there, I don't want to be there, bro.
Go. Yeah.
I really don't. FOMO, I don't deal with that. That if it's not God's purpose, it's not God's purpose. That is hard. It's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Because we live in a world where literally everything that's in it tries to separate us from God, and is literally pulling us away from God. Everything. And with the mighty force, you go out into the world, conversations are pulling you away from God. Like people are pulling you away from God. Invitations to here and there are pulling you away from God. And it's hard. It's hard. But when you have that transformation and you encounter God for the first time, because if it continues, I encountered God at a retreat. Unshaken? Is it Unshaken?
No. Did you go to Relentless Pursuit?
Relentless Pursuit.
Yeah.
That's the one. Relentless Pursuit. And at that time, I was already diving into the Word and reading the Word, and I encountered Christ for the first time there.
Yeah, man.
And that was like, that's it, bro.
Amen.
That's it. I was playing the cajon, like I do
like
sometimes
a little box.
A cajon is a little box where you like, if you don't have a drum set, you use a cajon. And I didn't even want to go to that retreat. Juan Lopez and Rebecca, every Sunday were cornering me.
Yeah.
Oh, go to a retreat. And then I think it was Diego that was telling me, "Oh, we don't have someone to play the cajon. Can you help us out?" And then in my pridefulness, this is why I went to the retreat. In my
I'm the only
pridefulness,
one that can play the cajon.
I'm
so
the only
gonna
one that
go.
can play the cajon. So I'm going just to help out with the cajon. And look how God works. I went there with my heart postured in the
Wrong place.
in the wrong place,
Yeah.
and God was like, "Okay, mira, here's my presence." And bro, it was one of the most, bro, I couldn't stop crying. And I came
Man.
from a world where men crying was
Of
like
course, yeah.
was the worst thing possible. I couldn't stop crying, bro. Like I felt this overwhelming like how would you say it?
Like a hug.
Like
a grip.
but deeper than a hug, like just embrace, like a deep intangible embrace. Like I felt like the goosebumps, and part of it was seeing like a group of 80 kids just complete
Pouring their heart out.
surrender and pouring their heart out to Christ. And then right then and there it was like boom, bro, just deep overwhelming like sense of like love, and I've never felt anything like that. And I started crying. From then on, like once I encountered his presence, baba, at work I was talking about Christ. Now in the car, like instead of listening to the rap that I was listening to, I would worship, always worship. And bro, I just like was obsessed, like reading the word, and I just wanted to know more and know more and know more. Oh my God, what is this? And I was like, okay, I want that feeling again. And I will call like God, just and when I will call on him, God will give me that presence. And from then on, bro, it's just amazing, man. There's nothing like Christ, having Christ in your life.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that first encounter. When you experience like what everybody is talking about, you're like, oh my God, what they're saying is real. Because for someone that hasn't experienced it or hasn't been in it, it's so easy to disregard it as like fantasy or disregard it as like, cuckoo-ness. But no, man, it's real. Like Christ is real, and like his love is real. And it's just beautiful to see when you experience it and you get to share it with others. When you get to share in community. This ministry has been such a blessing. It's been a home, a spiritual home for me. Through here, I've been able to build relationships, where other people as well are trying to have a relationship with Christ. We're not all perfect, but man, it's beautiful to see, and now it's just crazy. I still am at a loss for words to see the amount of change and the amount of transformation that Christ did with me. Is that even physically, bro? I don't even look the same, and man, like, and I decided to join the youth group, the youth team, because of that, because of what I went through, and since I went through it at a young age, I said, man, any chance that I get to prevent what, like, to kind of like, you're trying to put yourself in the position of a fixer, but you just don't want other kids to go through that.
Yeah,
you don't want other youth to go through that. And if one youth like gets to experience what I experienced,
to win,
I'm happy, bro. I'm at joy, and it's like that's why I joined the team, and I wanted to like now pour into youth and kind of tell them, and now God is using my testimony. At first, I was really ashamed, bro. I was really ashamed, and I didn't want to share much of my testimony. I'll keep it under wraps. But Christ confronted me on that.
Let's go.
And he spoke to me on that, and he was like, "Wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, through your testimony, you can bring more souls to me."
Amen.
And then it was like, now that I was truly freed on all those things, I could speak on it comfortably because, I've been freed. What time is it?
Yeah, it's 7:35.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, man, I can go long.
We actually gotta
and
go.
I'm sorry
serve.
if I went to. Yeah, we gotta
go serve
to
the youth. Now we got service, but man, I wanted to thank you again for coming on. I think it's beautiful what you've been able to share, and it's like you say, like once you grab a taste of Christ, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
But yeah, brother, again, thank you. Pleasure to have you on for the first episode of the year. We love you guys.
Honored.
Stay tuned in. Breaking Bread is coming to a different level this year.
Can I say
We love you.
follow and all that?
Yeah.
Wait, follow Breaking Bread. Put the thumbs up, like, comment down there. You know, hey, we want to know your thoughts. Put some comments in there as well. And Mo,
Subscribe, like.
support what this guy is doing, what
Love
God
you
is
guys.
doing through him.
Yeah.
Nothing but the best. I feel honored. Hopefully, I didn't go on too many rants.
Hopefully it won't click off.
Yeah.
I hope you guys
yeah.
are still here for this one.
But thank you for having me,
Yeah.
bro. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm super proud of what you're doing, and I know that God is gonna use this platform for good. He's gonna use the platform to bring more people to Him. And
Amen.
bro, there's sky's the limit. Keep going. You know, there may be times of discouragement, but man, keep doing, bro, what you're doing. Don't get discouraged. Like when you don't see results,
Yeah.
put that to the side. Like just focus on the mission that God has deposited in your heart, that He's deposited in your mind, because He gave you that vision, and He didn't give it to anybody else. He gave it to you, and for a reason, because He knows you're equipped for it. He knows that you're good for it, and He knows because in your hands it can come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know. So
Thank you,
thanks,
bro.
bro.
I accept that.
Completely
Thank
honored.
you. Thank you. Love you, bro.